The Joe Rogan Experience.
Yeah, I would watch something like that, except there's just too much. First of all, there's just too much. Too many things to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, I put it on my list, but, I'm going to get to that. And does everything have to be like a season?
Right.
Does everything have to be so drawn? Back to our subject. Everything is either very condensed or way too drawn out.
And you have to follow it.
And
it's
you have
not
to
like an episode of Friends where you don't have to know what the fuck happened the week before. And you can just tune in. To Seinfeld, it's not dependent upon the week before.
Right. It's everything's an arc.
Yeah, everything is.
And people binge. I don't binge. I never binged anything. I have the opposite problem. I have watching ADD. I love to watch TV. It's the last thing I do before I sleep at night. But unless something is absolutely compelling, I don't watch more than 15 minutes of it. I'll watch 15 minutes of this and then 15 minutes of that and 15 minutes of something else thing and then go to sleep.
People are structuring their Netflix specials that way because of that. People are doing their closing bit first.
I read that somewhere that you have to grab them. Yeah. That's why every fucking drama is something and then 6 months earlier.
Yeah.
We have to go back because you have to grab them first. And then, and it's such a tired trope now.
Yeah.
It's like now that we've seen it 100 times, think of something else. Or just go really crazy and do something linear.
Well, it's, this whole thing that you were saying before, we either have a 7-second attention span or we have 3 hours. I would love to see someone try to make a movie like Steve McQueen's Le Mans. Because if you don't remember that movie.
The old Steve McQueen.
Yeah, the old Steve McQueen. There's no...
Kids, there was a Steve McQueen before the very talented director.
Oh, I didn't even know there was a director, Steve McQueen.
Yes, you do.
Who is he? What does he do?
He directed... Well, you know, right?
You heard him?
He's an African-American. He directed 12 Years a Slave, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Are you using your magic light box to Google him up? And what else did he direct? He's a big director. He's a major guy. That's Steve McQueen.
Oh, there he goes. I didn't know who he is. Shame, Hunger.
Widows. Yes, he just did Widows.
Never saw that.
Widows, 12 years. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I remember the old Steve McQueen too.
The actor
yes,
Steve McQueen.
The one who died of cancer in 1980, I believe. I remember him chasing cures in Mexico. Poor guy.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Lung cancer?
I think probably. I think he
cigarettes?
probably was a heavy smoker, and but yeah, he was. What about him?
The movie Le Mans is a really slow beginning. There's no talking for like the first I don't know how many minutes. It's just people going about their life on the racetrack, like all preparing for things, and there's no chat.
Oh, you ever try to watch a Hitchcock movie?
Oh yeah, same thing. Yeah.
I mean, it just shows how different the audiences are and how we have developed or undeveloped.
I don't know if it's that or if it's that there's an expectation that people have a short attention span, and so that everything is made for that expectation.
No, they do.
They do.
I do think they really do. I mean, the more I do. I must say, as someone who grew up when Alfred Hitchcock was he still making? Yeah, he made a movie in 1972. I was 16. I saw it in the theater. It was one of his last. He was on his last legs. But Psycho was 1960. I was too young for that. But he was still very in vogue and a big director. And I tried to watch... I did watch the one he made in 1956, the year I was born, called The Man Who Knew Too Much, I think. It's a story he made 3 times. He liked that story about the innocent guy who's being chased by somebody, and he doesn't know why they're chasing him, and the police are after him, but he's got to find the bad guys before the police find him. It's Jimmy Stewart and Doris Day. It is... I mean, they talked about it, the master of suspense. I mean, Jesus Christ, it was like the master of keeping me from falling asleep. It's really subtle, slow. I'm sorry, but I think they've improved on that. Maybe that's sacrilege to the movie community, and Martin Scorsese will write me a letter or something, but Jesus Christ, I'd much rather watch Salt. There's a thriller that moves, or the Jason Bourne, those movies. I feel like they took what Hitchcock was doing. And yes, they revved it up, and I'm glad they did. Hitchcock's hard to get through.
But you also have to realize when Hitchcock was making films, they've been only making films for 50 years. It was a really...
Oh, even less.
Yeah.
I mean, he started in the late 30s.
Right.
You know, I mean, talkies had only been around for like 10 years.
That's
he goes
crazy.
way back, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's something about that, like, even when you think about stand-up, like, if you ever tried listening to Lenny Bruce?
I certainly have. Good example.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Doesn't work anymore. It's just contextually. We're in a different world.